Hey there, team. Sensei Stolpitz here, and I want to talk for a minute about forms in modern day martial arts. Now, I teach karate, and I love the system of karate. However, I feel a lot of karate has earned a bad name through the way that it teaches. One of those things that we're messing up on is forms. We need to stop teaching kata the way that it used to be taught. A lot of time is focused in a lot of schools on trying to figure out what were the ancient masters doing with this technique in this kata. We know that it has to do with either striking or grappling or clinching or some sort of movement like this. However, what we don't know is exactly what they were going for. And I think this takes away from our training. If our goal in karate is to learn self-defense, then we should know exactly what the movement we're doing is for. I agree practicing form is a great way to get repetitions, to learn how to use your body, to build muscle memory, to be able to work combinations and counters, and get used to going in for clinches. Kata is great for all of this. Forms are a great way to practice, especially when you're on your own and you don't have a partner. However, what I feel is spending time trying to learn the way the masters used to do kata is a waste of time. We should be using contemporary katas. Instructors should be taking the skills that they feel are most effective and teaching those skills to their students. They should be bringing those skills to them so they can show them exactly how the skill is used and why it's used, and not have to try to assess how or why it was used. If we do kata this way, we're teaching skills, not memorizing forms. And when we teach this skill, then we can drill that skill. We can take them through some games or some ways to practice and get repetitions against maybe somebody who's a little more active with you. And if you can drill and drill and drill, then you can build proper muscle memory and understand the application of these moves. Now, when you go to practice by yourself, you know what you're doing with your body when you practice the kata. If self-defense truly is the goal of our forms training and our karate training in general, then we should also apply it to sparring. When we bring the forms that we do into our sparring skills, now we can see what it looks like with a resisting opponent, and that is such a great benefit. Now, your goal may not be the same as an MMA where I'm trying to, knock them out or I'm trying to submit them. Maybe your goal is to be able to escape. That makes sense for self-defense. Maybe your goal is just to take them down and then run. Maybe that makes sense for self-defense, or even hold them down. Maybe not submit them like break an arm, but be able to hold somebody down and wait for help to come. These make sense for self-defense. And our sparring games can relate to those goals, and you can change it day by day. So you're practicing these skills in different scenarios. These are all ways that you start to build confidence in your technique, to know that you can perform it because one, you've performed it under pressure with drills, and two, you've performed it against resistance during sparring. If you can't apply the skills, if it doesn't work in sparring, if it doesn't work in drills, or you don't know how to drill it or how to spar with it, then we shouldn't be practicing those techniques. Those would be techniques that will not help us should we ever need to defend ourselves. And maybe they're applicable to sport, which is fun. Point sparring is a great time, don't get me wrong, and it can be used for different things. So point sparring helps us understand initiative. It helps us understand combinations. It helps us understand countering. These are all good skills, but they are not self-defense themselves. They're all pieces of self-defense. And as long as we're not forgetting the goal of karate, to be a mixed martial art that applies to self-defense, our katas can always fall back to that goal. Does this apply to self-defense? Yes. Now, how can I practice it? Or does it not apply to self-defense? And then maybe I shouldn't be doing that technique. If you do the old traditional katas, I hope you are teaching and practicing each of the techniques in them in a practical manner. And if you do contemporary katas, if you make your own katas, I would love to see some of your stuff either online, or you can send it to me or forward it to me, or leave a link. That way we can continue to bring the martial arts, and especially karate, forward into the modern day. I don't need to teach what the ancients taught. They were making it up for their students, and we've got better things now that we can provide to our students. Genshin Funakoshi was the father of modern karate because he changed karate. And today we can keep changing karate by following his example.